What was the thing that you said that you're the skateboarding?
Well, we are back, huh? We're back here at the 9 Club.
I like
That's
that.
how he does it every single time.
Consistency is
We
key.
need something like that. We need something like a fun little like thing, because I feel like if I try to do it, it sounds so weird and awkward. I'm like, hey,
Let's figure it out. Let's
Okay.
figure it out right now.
Ask ChatGPT to give you some suggestions.
Chat GPT, send me
Give me podcast opening suggestions. Give you 100.
Like,
I don't even know.
I like that. Hey,
Just super awkward, like
Sure.
no tone, whatever. Hey,
Hey, you guys.
like, so it's like,
You could
what's his name from the Goonies?
Yeah, that'd be
We doing that?
Hey, you guys.
Hey, guys.
We're back
that'd be pretty.
All
with
right.
Ben Loates today.
Yeah.
Mr. Bugatti.
Yeah,
Welcome
Mr.
to the
Bugatti.
podcast.
Happy to be here, boys. It's been a rough morning, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, sweet.
We could have done a podcast with all your different personas.
Actually,
Can we?
yes.
Actually, we can do
Would
a whole
this actually
With
be-
Benjamin Almond, I'll come
Yes.
as Benjamin Almond.
Yes.
I will absolutely come as Bugatti.
Oh my God.
And what are? There's more.
Who else do you have? So Benjamin Almond is the nature nut, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
And-
Which I actually found out that John Acorn, the nature nut, watched that video.
Oh, that's
No
rad.
way.
Yes, and I knew that.
There's an actual person that's based on?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
he was like, "This guy's biting my."
You're like, I never thought it would get that
Yeah.
far.
There's Bugatti, Benjamin Almond. Oh, there's Brant Lawrence.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
Brant Lawrence would
Brant
just crush this
Lawrence.
podcast.
Oh
Like, he
my
is
God.
so inspiring. Like, he's up at 4 a.m. every morning.
Just hustling
Yeah,
hard. Hey?
yeah. And then there's one I haven't brought to light, and I don't know if it'd be politically correct. His name is Vlad.
Okay, here we go.
Hello, my name is Vlad, and I will sell for you. And he's
yeah.
and I have a picture of Vlad.
Let's-
We have
Yeah,
no.
bring it. You can
there's
introduce
no
them to the
barriers.
world.
He was born.
Yeah.
He was born in Canmore one evening. Is all I can say.
Oh.
Vlad showed up in a family get together.
Oh, I thought you meant like his backstory was he was literally born in
Yeah,
Canada.
that's what I thought
That
you were
probably
going
should
with.
be
I
his
was like,
and
all right.
somehow has the
Yeah.
thickest Chechnyan accent, but raised in Canmore.
Yes.
Like,
So he's a real mountain guy, but he's
he is Vlad, and he will. Don't worry about Vlad.
I actually love this idea. I want every single character.
Just every
Guys,
character.
I
Yeah.
am so in.
Yes.
That would be
Okay.
the
What's your
funnest
week
thing.
like next week?
The only thing for Bugatti, I got to grow this beard out, and then I keep the mustache really good, and then I shave. So I
shave
have
it
to
up.
shave.
All right.
So Bugatti will be the last.
Bugatti will be the last.
Yeah.
Benjamin Almond. Oh,
He'll wrap
oh
up
boys.
the characters.
I
is
think we do it.
beautiful.
I think
Oh
that's,
my
that's
God.
gold right
I
there.
have
very
so
excited.
many questions for each one of those characters that are just like coming through my
And
mind.
I have so many answers
Oh my God, this would be
that I'll find out as well in the moment what they are.
Well, the videos are all gold. Like, I think the one, like, Mary's, like, when she watches them, there was one that you did, you weren't like a character like that, but you're in a house and then you, like, pan to like or your camera guy pans to like a kid's room and you're playing with like cars.
That's my
And then-
favorite one.
And then you look back at the camera, get out! That was the best, yeah. That one we still laugh
I think
about.
that one's my favorite
Yeah.
one.
I think that was a moment in the rise of the videos and pushing boundaries.
It was
that,
your earlier
It was
videos.
early video,
Yeah.
and it was like a moment where it pushed something, and I never came back from that. Like, it's like, did
struck
you
something
really
there.
just do that? Like, you're a professional.
Yeah.
Like, no, it stands out to me
The
too.
best.
that
That's
was
the
my
best.
favorite.
Get out.
There's
Yeah.
so many though. Like, oh my God, like I could go back and like think about like the history of your videos and just like some of the things that you have done in real estate videos is so freaking funny to me.
It's so stupid.
I love it. It's so stupid, but that's the kind of humor that we love, right? Like, we just love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
my favorite humor, truly, and I think the videos reflect that, is like I put this thing up on my Insta story the other day, and it's a picture of five Canadian geese on one side and like 8 on the other, like a flying V, and it says, "Do you see how there's more geese in this flying V, that it's lopsided?" And then below it says, "That is because there are more geese on one side." That for me
the
is
facts,
my
eh?
absolute favorite humor.
Yeah.
There's another one too where it's like, take these essential oils and rub them on like here and rub them on your back, and then below it says, and you will just be very oily. And like, it's the stupidest humor, but I just
So
love
good,
the
That's
silliness
hilarious.
of stupid humor.
Agreed.
Oh, that's awesome. Like, well, I've known you for the 10 years. 10 years roughly.
Yeah.
Like, I was a year into real estate. I think you were roughly a year when we met.
Yeah, I think you were maybe a little ahead there. Yeah,
Yeah, like, one of our very first, like, probably 5 deals was with each other.
Yeah, that's right.
And that out in Spruce Grove. And I remember when we met, you came to the office to either like pick up keys or drop off a deposit check, and I gave you my business card, and you were like, "Oh, this is the coolest business card ever." And it was the same photo that you liked from the sign with the brick, and I was like, I remember like because I was like, oh, just like branding myself, and I went home, I was like, oh, I met this guy and he loved my business card, and I was like so jacked about it, and now I don't have those business cards anymore, but yeah.
I authentically remember being like, that is cool. I really meant it.
Yeah, I appreciated it. Yeah,
So that's how we met too, because like he had the sign with that same picture on it, and I was like, that was the original like text that, because we started doing a deal together. It was a house that we did a deal together. It was like his neighbor's house, or 2 doors down or whatever. I had the buyers, he had the listing, and I was like, man, I'm like, your sign is so cool. Just like fanboying out.
Yeah, just like, a bunch of weirdos hyped on each other.
Yeah, right. And he's like, he's like, thanks. So I'm like, cool. I'm like, you want to go grab a coffee sometime? Just like total stupid, weird bromance that happens out of like the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like you and I when we first
met,
right?
I remember our first phone call, because I think you had shown one of my $1 million listings.
Yeah.
Which actually was like a piece of crap.
Yeah.
It's very disappointing the day I went to take photos there. Like, anyways, I don't need to go into that. But you showed it, and so I didn't know who you were, and I'm thinking, well, he's showing $1 million listing, so he's probably a jerk. And because that was my assumption. It's one of my first $1 million listings, so I'm like, I don't know how they do it in this luxury realm.
They're all jerks.
They're all jerks. There's only... And I remember just chatting with you and being like, oh, this guy's chill, like, and just appreciating talking with you. Like, we were talking about you being just who you are, right? Just being really a bud. And I just remember appreciating that. I'm like, oh, this guy's pretty normal. I like talking to him. And then you were like, hey, you want to go get a beer or something like that? And I'm like, okay.
And then I actually remember the time that you actually, like, because I can't remember when it was, but it was like shortly after that, you like texted me and you're like, so I'm sitting here watching skateboarding videos and I have like a 30-minute window. Do you want to meet for a beer? And I'm
Is that how it went? Okay.
That's how it went, because you're like, I literally have like this much time if you want to meet. And I'm like, okay, let's go. So we went to, it was Provincial.
Yes, that's right.
Right, and we like sat down, and it was literally like a speed date. It felt like a speed date. Like we were like, okay, let's just bombard each other with as many questions as we possibly can, and like find out and see if we can. Yeah, it was super fun.
It felt so good to me, and even after we got off that conversation in the, like, I was sitting in my driveway, my door was open, and I was chatting, and I honestly got off the phone and went inside, and I was like, Jenna, I think that feels like a good decision to switch over to the good. Like, after that conversation, it just felt right. And you weren't trying to sell me in any way. You were literally just Rob being Rob, and it just felt good. Yeah,
it didn't feel like a pitch or anything like that. I can't remember if like you
I didn't even know you were the owner
about it. Oh yeah, that's right.
I didn't even know you were the owner.
Yeah.
I just thought I actually didn't even know anything until you said, oh yeah, and you never told me you were the owner in the conversation.
Oh, I didn't?
No, you just said you were at this brokerage called The Good, and so I just this guy's cool. And then I went and looked up after, and I'm like, oh, he owns The Good. Oh, that's cool.
I'm such a good business person.
You kind of,
this guy owns a business.
I believe you're failing at your job of recruiting. But actually that's who you are, and that's the way you do it, so much so that you didn't even pitch your business, which for a guy like me is the greatest pitch. I mean, I've got mortgage brokers that have reached out to me or that I did stuff with, and then they'll follow up with me later. I personally hate follow-up. I hate doing follow-up. I hate being followed up with. Like, I don't follow up with me. Like, if it's real and authentic, it's gonna happen.
Right.
And you, so it was a beautiful fit because you didn't even tell me you owned the business.
Yeah.
But it just felt great. And that was great.
That's awesome.
That's so interesting actually, because sorry, and I don't want to derail this but I do want to like make a mention of that because I have I actually did try that one time. Like I was like, I felt like I got into this like zone. This is a little bit vulnerable of a of a confession, but it's funny at the same time because I'm like, I remember at one point I was like, okay, like, you know, I am a business owner and I need to be a big boy and like try to grow my business and stuff. So there was a realtor, I'm not going to mention who she is, but
said she was a girl.
Yeah,
we can find this out.
You guys can sleuth it out later. So anyway, I was like, let's go for coffee. And like at the point when I had asked her to go for coffee, it was just like to catch up or whatever, right? Because I'd known her for a while, just like on social media, but not really connected. So anyway, went and had a coffee. It was super like normal, just like whatever. I was myself and stuff like that. But after the conversation, I did the super cringy like follow up, like hey, you know, like if you're ever interested, then like buy this brokerage, you know, we would really like, and it just, everything about it felt so wrong.
It's
and
almost
so
like, hey, you know this meeting we've just been in? How would you rate this meeting?
Right?
Here's a questionnaire.
Yeah, like literally the moment that I like sent that text message, I was like, I feel like I belong to an MLM of some kind, and I just hooked somebody into going for coffee. Like it felt that cringy, and I was like, immediately I was like, I'm never ever doing that again.
Totally.
So, and that was like, and this was like long after even you.
Wow.
Like this was just one point I was like, look, I need to do this. You know what I mean? And I just like, it's not me. I can't do it.
I have to share a story based on that because it just absolutely, to echo that. Unless we go. So in my first year of real estate, and you're taught so many things. Here's how you do it. Here's how you gain clients and stuff. And one of the things I was taught, that we're all taught, is if somebody comes to look at your listing, so you know they don't have a realtor and they're coming to look at it, you got to win them over, convert them into your buyers, right? And so, you know, first year in, this couple came and I did a great job. Here's why you should work with me. Here's, you know, I'll if it's not this house, I'll help you. And I convinced them, as I should, and I won them. And probably for the next 3 months, showed them around, showed them properties, spent my time showing properties. Never felt actual authentic connection with them. And even their mom and dad came to a property that they really liked. So now I met mom and dad, but there's no foundation. So I didn't feel a connection with mom and dad. Like I felt like I wasn't a part of it.
Right.
And it was gross. It was a gross feeling. Yeah. And at the end of it all, they had signed a buyer brokerage with me and everything. At the end of it all, they texted me and they said, Ben, we actually found a house that's for sale privately and we're going to buy it. And so, you know, thanks for everything, but we've already found it. And in that moment, just like you, I remember going, and this is what I felt, Ben, and this is for me, other people do their businesses differently, but for me that was a foundational moment of, Ben, this is the fruit, this is the product of you forcing things. You will waste your time, you will feel no connection, and at the end of the day, it's not their fault that they bought a house privately. You are the one that grabbed them, pulled them into, they were already on their own trajectory. You fuddled their trajectory for your gain, right? And this will be the result of that toil in your life. So don't do it. And actually in that moment when they called me, I said, hey, no problem. I wasn't bummed. I was like, I'm bummed at myself. I created this moment. And that was first year in, and truly my posture at that point was, I'm never gonna we can manhandle stuff and even get it, but there's better things than that when you actually allow it to organically happen, to the point that, you know, like the acreage we talked about, there's no way that you can manhandle that has to be a smooth flowing river. You're just on the boat and you've got a rudder, but the river is taking you and you're just on it. So Totally reminds me of the
I
same
love
concept.
that story, and I love the, like, to me, the big thing about that is the ownership that you're taking on that, because I feel like it's such a natural reaction to, like, immediately go to, like, blaming the clients, where they were like, you know, like, oh, what a bunch of jerks that
And
they
you could
waste my time
Totally.
and then go and do that, rather than taking the position that it's like, yeah, you know what, there must have been something that I did
wasted
through this process, or you wasted their time. Like, that's even a bigger shift in like
in the least I wasted my time.
Well, that too. Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Well, we all learn the hard way,
Yeah.
right? And that happened to me, like going off, like not being organic to myself, is I had a listing, I wanted to get the price dropped, and then I was in like a course, like a real estate course, and they had like scripts. And so I like kind of like formulated this script. I'm like, I'm gonna give this a shot because like this is a hard client. I sent it. Like 30 seconds later, I got a call, and he just like roasted me. And he's like, "What?" And I was just like, I was so thrown back, and I was like, "Yeah, I didn't come across as myself.
Totally.
It was so like not me, and I got burned for it."
Yeah,
And you learn it. Then.
Yeah.
that's it, man. It's all just trial and error, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move this bad boy along. Okay, so listen, buddy, you you have one of the funniest real estate stories. I've heard it before. Me and Justin have both heard it before, but we want you to tell us your one of your, well, I'm sure you have a ton, but like, you know exactly which one I'm talking about. Tell us your funny real estate story.
Yeah, for sure I do. And I believe Justin will be like 98 years old, surrounded by the people that love him, and be like, so what, you know, on his deathbed, and what do you remember, Grandpa? Or like whatever. And he'll be like, oh, this one time Ben Loates.
I honestly, I tell it all the
I know
time.
it's your favorite story.
I tell it all the time.
And to me, it is so telling. Like when people are like, man, how are you so successful in real estate? How have you done this? This story is proof that I have no idea. This story is
really the theme of this whole podcast.
yeah. I know something's working. However, this story I'm about to tell is absolutely proof that there's something greater than me making this all work. So I'm in Fort Saskatchewan showing so many houses, like probably 14 houses that day, to some wonderful people. Shout out to Tony Churchill. Love you guys. And so we're looking at houses, and there's this one house. We were looking at two in this neighborhood, and we were like 8 houses in. And right before this house, and I tell this to give context for the weirdness of my brain, why I made the decision later. We showed this house that was a rental, and the realtor had just given a quick text, hey, front door might be locked. There's like this way that you can work that out if they locked it. So that this is in my brain. Yeah, you know, open a door around house 8. So I showed that house. We go to this next house in this neighborhood, and we pull up, go to the front door, and I go to open the door, and it's got that like little chain lock on it.
Yeah.
So the door's unlocked, and I don't know why I didn't think about the lock box. I don't know why, like, oh, there's no lock box.
Because you had that text that was like, you know,
From
if
the
the door's locked, then
So
this is your next move.
So somehow the transfer of that was specific to that house didn't translate to the next. I actually don't. My poor wife has to be married to me, and whatever this realm decides in a moment is good.
Yeah.
And so gunk. The door's got about that much room on it right there. And my brain just goes, oh, no problem, guys. And I don't know if it's being extroverted, like in the moment, you're like, we got this. Hey, guys, like sometimes extroverts are so dumb. I'm an extrovert. And
Problem
you're like,
solver kicks in.
Hey, guys, we got this. So, and I remember saying, no problem. I got piano fingers, is what I said to them. So I reach in and I undo the little chain, and we go into the house. And we start walking around. House looks pretty good, and it was a good showing. And we go up and down, and out of all these houses, it was kind of a dud day. They actually were really liking this one. So it was a good showing. Left my card, and shut the door onto our next 5 houses. No big deal. And it was probably on my way home from Fort Sask. My client sends me a text and goes, hey, we never saw that one room with the green wall in it in that listing. And I'm like, oh yeah, oh, like really in my world, I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, there's so many houses. And then they're like, they text me, they're like, I don't think that was the house in that neighborhood. So I pull my car over and I look, and like the address is like 1 Adelaide Court, and the other one is like 1 Adelaide Crescent. So I just have this moment of like epic hot sweat, like, and you almost,
I know that
and the fullness of the reality doesn't hit you. Like you're like,
Oh no.
and like, you know, where your body just starts sweating, like the whole body sweats.
Yeah.
And so I realize I broke into somebody's house.
You're going to
I
jail.
full on break and entered and left my business card.
That's the best
Yeah,
part.
that's the best part.
Card.
You leave the tracing.
The worst B&E ever.
Yeah.
I was here.
I was like, I can't believe I just did that. It was like, I didn't even think twice about it. Didn't have any spidey senses of being like, hey, you're illegal right now. So anyways, told them, oh my gosh, guys, okay. You know, so I of course went back, bought these people 3 different expensive gift cards and flowers and wrote a card and left it on their doorstep. And I think I wrote something like, I am just terrified and so sorry that I did that. And then I also wrote, I mean, also though, out of the 13 houses we looked at, yours was their favorite.
So
And so anyways, left that on their doorstep. And
And then a week later, you were doing a deal on the house.
yeah, right. Yeah, so there you go.
That is so freaking funny.
I can just feel Jenna, my wife, right now, like if she's watching this podcast, just her hand shaking. Just because this is part and parcel of her 16 years married to me. Is like, Ben's heart was so pure.
Yeah.
He was just good to go and loving everybody around him. Yeah. Also, a cat is dead.
Yeah.
And I don't know why the cat's dead, but he was in the room at the time. And now Susan's cat is dead, and Susan is so sad, and Ben has no idea.
Yeah,
This is Jenna just going, oh, it's not a funny story. That is not a funny story.
Tornado Ben was through here.
Tornado Ben. It was a pretty tornado. He was a very fun tornado.
Yeah.
However, got some
So
problems.
here's a question about that though. Did the people that lived in that house ever like call you and like say anything, like, or did they just accept the gifts and leave it?
That's it.
That's it.
I never heard.
You never heard anything.
No, I never heard a lick.
So
back
they were
after
just
that.
like, well, someone broke into our
that
house,
happened.
showed themselves around, left us some nice things.
No, because I left my card. They texted me.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Oh, I wish I could find that text.
What was the paraphrase it for us?
Oh, well, it was like, hi.
Best way to start that text. Hi.
Hi, we found your business card in our house, and we're confused. And there's no amount of extrovert at that point. There's no amount of exclamation marks in a text that you can like, hey guys, yeah, like it is my business card.
What's the follow up
Yeah,
to
there's
that?
there's no extrovert.
Funny story.
Yeah,
I have an explanation for
funny
that.
story. Get it. 3 smiley faces. No,
You got to take a few chain links off your door because I can get in.
Yeah, have you ever heard of piano fingers?
Yeah. It's not very safe.
That is the name of the story. It's okay, guys. I have piano fingers.
Full extrovert in that
Yeah.
moment. Just a joke, a little, facetious. Like as I break into someone's house.
Oh God.
I think I just wrote, I broke into I showed your house and undid your lock, and I thought it was Adelaide Court, and there was another. Please let me make this up to you. It was something like, and I truly waited, I think, for another 40 minutes for them to text back, and was like, as a realtor, sometimes you make some mistakes, and you're like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, they're probably trying to digest the information.
He walked through my house.
Yeah.
There was actually a guy.
Probably for like, probably for a week they were thinking
so
about that.
embarrassing.
There were 3 random people wandering around.
Just judging the house.
Oh
like, you broke in to judge somebody's house.
Can you imagine if like you sent back the text and you were like, yeah, so we showed your house, but they didn't really like the kitchen. It's kind of shitty.
Yeah, just give them feedback.
It's a little dark in there.
They prefer white cabinets, not oak.
Yeah.
But we're sending an offer that reflects.
It will be
the work
reflecting the
needed.
oak, though. Our offer will be reflecting the oak, just so you know. But it's not personal.
Yeah. And can you pick up your dog shit next
It
time?
smells like cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I
that is
noticed
so
you're not
freaking
represented.
Yeah.
Is would you like? I know there's probably some realtors that are like, I can pull this one. I'm gonna win these guys over.
do-
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I know I broke into your house. However,
And they're going to follow up.
yeah, they're following up. Mortified. Oh my gosh.
Oh god, I am crying. That's
so
so,
good.
freaking
It's the
good.
best story.
Oh, I don't know how anything can beat that.
Probably. Oh man.
Yeah. All right, well, let's jump into the next section with that. I don't know, Justin, what do you think?
Well, do we need to take a quick pause on that?
We might. Yeah, let's
take a
do
quick
let's do a
pause.
quick pause and then we'll just
Splice
reset.
it together.
Deflated.
Yeah, I mean, I could come up with more. But
Come up with more on the spot. What's your favorite color?
Yeah. 6-year-old Ben.
Yeah. How many fingers do you have?
Oh yeah, you gotta clap.
Oh yeah. Hey, you.